Hey, what's up, guys? You know what it is? It's your boy DJ Lotus X. We're here at Lotus X Gaming. I'm gonna tell you what. Uh, just a quick note. Apparently, the word escort um, on PlayStation, I guess, is considered profanity, and so now I can only call this a COSWORTH when I'm trying to stream or anything like that because it won't let me call it an escort COSWORTH. But you know, that's I guess what it is. Escort is a bad word for, I guess, the obvious reason, but I mean, you do have a car called an escort, so we're kind of on the fence here. But let's continue. As you know, sometimes, most of the time, we're on a track with, when we're testing, with a bunch of underpowered cars, because those are a lot of the races that I have access to, depending on what car I'm driving. So we're gonna be working with something a little more powerful than most of what's going on here. So don't be surprised if I'm just blowing by everybody like they're standing still. Sorry, I'm getting over a little sniffle here, you know what I mean? So, Jesus, Lord. This is not the fastest car in the world, but it's definitely faster than anything on the track, as long as I can keep it where it needs, doing what it needs to do here. Ooh, that was pretty smooth swifting. Now, of course, I'm going to just do that again because we didn't get the desired result. But okay, we're good. So yeah. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm kind of driving with one hand if you can't notice right now. But really don't need more than one for this one, so. Ooh, nice one-handed drift. The quickest way, honestly, from one to just drive freaking weirdly while smashing the gas, and you will start drifting. You're gonna start drifting out of control probably, but you'll start drifting. Are we serious right now? This is what's happening? Okay, well. That's kind of a bitch. I literally did the exact same shit because I fucking spun out. But anyway. This is actually my first race of the day, so we're just kind of hanging around. But yeah. actually like to say, I think I want a brake controller on there just to control which way the brakes go. Alright, the prize is $5,000. I only need $5,000 to get the nitrous. Well, we can eat. Well, I don't know. I just don't know right then. Because we can either get the nitrous set up, which is of course always a fun tool to play with, or we can get a hellaciously overpowered COSWORTH. By the end of $100,000, a lot can get done with a COSWORTH. So, I don't know. Because the nitrous, of course, I'll burn people on straight stretches. And if I can get to any kind of good top speed in the lower end of, some of the models, a couple models above this, like 200-300 horsepower maybe, because I'm right in that area. But as for spending $100,000 tuning this vehicle, it would become a monster at the end of 200 grand. Lady called, so we got some more one-hand drifting going on. Before that, unfortunately, was both hands. I just came in with a little too much beat. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're gonna get the money this time as long as I can hang on to this bitch, and then we'll be good. Come on. There we go. That'll work. I'll toe tag the tail a little bit. I don't care. Gran Turismo is such a gorgeous game. Like, you might not be able to do anything with race, but that's literally what this game is only made to do. So, I don't expect to be able to do anything else. You know what I mean? When it comes to the abilities of a racing game, there's only going to be so much that you can put into it, because if you're going for a if you're going for a simulation type racing game, then you're obviously going to only do it on places where you can safely drive, and like tracks, drag strips, um, airport, broken down airports, those kinds of things. So you're never going to have it on the open road where there's other cars, unless you have portions like Tsukuba and Fuji Speedway, that kind of thing, and not Fuji, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, and I'll tell you, I'll make it 100% here in just a second. But those, of course, places that are road that has been cordoned off where there's only you and other racers, rather than any kind of normal traffic, so that you wouldn't be driving unsafely, because those aren't the rules of the normal street road, so you wouldn't be on it when other people could be there. So I don't expect to be Grand Theft Autoing out here in Gran Turismo, because that's not what this game's about. It's a racing simulation. And most more likely a professional racing simulation. But with also customization, to where you can still be yourself, have circuits and whatnot, and do different kinds of events. But at the end of the day, it is professional simulation racing, and that's what you're going to get. Thanks for watching. If you guys like my content, please subscribe, do that, all that kind of stuff. And that's all there is to that. But yeah, so back to what we got going on here. I'll tell you what, now that we have a choice to make. And we've got $100,000 now. Because as much as a Nas kit on this little bastard just to see what it would do, sounds really great. At the end of the day, it's really just not going to do a whole lot for me. Oh, I already got all gold on that. Okay, nice. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Tsukuba, of course, and Suzuka. But more what I'm talking about, yeah, the Tokyo Expressway. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, so certain things like this, I can't race these because I have to have a Japanese-made car. So right now, let me just go get one right quick. Check out my... Yeah, let's check out my 370. Well, I'm not going to call it 370. Well, it's actually a 350, but I'm not even going to call it that. It's a Fair Lady Z, of course. But yeah, so we're going to get a couple extra dollars. I do believe I'm probably going to go ahead and just upgrade the COSWORTH rather than try to give it the Nas right now, because it's really just not going to have the desired effect in that way. I mean, it will, but it won't. Of course, I'll have a fast-ass car, but only at times when I'm pushing the Nas. Just want to make sure that all of my different accessories are actually there. Alright, so we're good there. Give it just a little more break in the back there. But I do believe you'll enjoy this vehicle. She's going. Smooth shifts too. those of you who don't know, I do drive with the motion controls with the controller, so sometimes it's fairly difficult to catch drift back once it's started because I have no resistance, but hopefully I do fairly well enough. And so far I'm usually doing pretty good. Now of course we really can't gauge this race in that way, the same way, because these are fairly underpowered cars compared to what I'm racing. Like I am going to beat them, there's no doubt about it. Well, it's not a bad slide at the end there. I'm actually very surprised that my GTR was not there, but it must have had too much power. So as you can see, I was not racing formidable opponents. They were okay. Some of them were just not even going to ever be there. But like the 8615, that was alright. The Supra was decent for 88, but it wasn't anywhere near either one of us. And the RX-7 from 90 and the Still 80 from 98 were okay. So, but either way, I got 600 something horse. Like, it's not happening. And there's so much more work to be done to my Nissan. If there's nothing you can appreciate Gran Turismo for when it comes to anything, it's the visuals. Like, they put together every replay just looks so amazing because of the camera angles and just the way, of course, when you're driving fairly well, it looks really good every time. You know, as long as you're even doing decent. Like, I'm scraping up against the wall a little bit, but I mean, it's a good race. You know, everybody's right around the corner and nobody's lacking. And the angles, the way they have it, and the visual fidelity of it is just gorgeous. And if nothing else as well, the sense of speed is definitely there. You feel like you're going every mile an hour that you're going. If you're going slow, you feel like you're going slow. If you're going fast, 150 miles an hour or something, you feel that. It doesn't feel like 90 miles an hour. Your speedometer says you're going 50, 150. Sorry about that. We'll be right back. Check out these expensive ass parts while we wait. Right, so we're not actually buying any parts for this car because we need to get them on the COSWORTH. But let's do some fun stuff here. I was given a car, but I don't, oh, no, of course not. I don't even actually remember what it was. I don't believe it was really any great car, but we'll figure it out. Oh yeah, of course I have a thing for that. Like, they give you such parts for such weird cars. But you give me like a voucher for a part for any car that I own. That'd be great. Oh, I do have an Audi R8 shit. Yeah, I got that son of a bitch. Oh yeah, I took it to the next level with that joint. Look at that, my Corvette's got 874. My other Corvette's got 944. My Ford GT's got 793. No, these are freaking Gran Turismo F1 cars. Like, they're in the same class. Of course, my 640's got 631, so, you know, that comes standard. 79? Now, my actual Mini Cooper is this guy, which is a fucking blast to drive. He is fast as hell. Switch back over to, of course, I got a GTR, a little 560 something. You know, my Taycan 795. Actually looking, oh, what the fuck am I talking about? Ford, it starts with an F up here. Rolling like a bonehead. So let's go to the Sierra. And I'll be right back. Alright, we had to handle a couple things right quick, but we are back. Now, I feel like I've officially decided to go ahead and just put some work into the Escort, because as much as I love Nas, I'm sure everybody does, it's just not really going to do anything for me right now, so the way I really want it to. I want to make this a very fast car, and it can be fast, but Nas isn't going to do it with the way it is now. It would do it on a Corvette, yeah, do great stuff. Like, a little Supra, I slapped some, RZ joint, 98, some shit. Slap some Nas on it, it'd be great. But right now, 223 horsepower, it's really not going to do a whole lot. Whereas I could slap this turbo on this bitch. But of course I'm going to upgrade the internals as well. That's very important. But blam, high RPM turbo, little 272. But my first step is always the less expensive option, fully customizable computer. Blam, takes you from 223 to 236. Not quite as high as a bump, but you're getting a computer system that's taking you higher than most things. So, you know what I mean? Like, whole engine parts, you know what I mean? Mechanical parts are not keeping up to the control, to the horsepower that you're getting just from installing the computer. Look at that, polishing the ports of your engine is still not even doing as much as putting in the computer. Stroking up your engine is not doing as much. Putting a racer muffler on it will do a little more. Just a little bit more than just putting a computer on it. You spent $4,000 more, you got 4 more horsepower. These are alright, see where we're at? Blam, air filter. Blam, look at that. And that right there in itself, that's one of the reasons I start with kind of like with one of those two. Because it's such an inexpensive purchase for a lot of power before you get into anything really big. So my first move is always to get the computer. Steps me up a good bit, and now I'm smart enough, car-wise, to work the best that I can with all the parts that I'm about to put on it. My next step, of course, is going to be the turbocharger. Blam. So right there, the turbocharger already gives me 288 instead of like 272, whatever it was about to give me, just from having the computer on it. So by getting the computer first, I got more power from what I was just about to buy. That's a win to me. And of course that takes me under the 100,000, so I don't feel bad now that I'm not getting the nitro system, because now I can't afford it. I'm back to where I was when I started the game, literally. Well, today, Alright, so let's go back to the racing section, well, the extreme section, do the very first one of the most important things we can do, get these ceramic brakes. Now of course remember they're always going to only be the brake discs. So you still have to purchase the racing pads along with them. It's always the set that you want to do at the same time, just so you never forget. Because if you have terrible brake pads, it's not going to matter how good you squeeze on something. If the pads aren't any good, they're not going to do as well. So you have to match them very well. And of course, as a safety measure and for wear in itself, you always want to replace them both at the same time. Now let me see. So, because I've done this so many times, there's so many different configurations that I usually end up working with because of how much money I have. And after the smaller things that I do, I want to get at least 1 or 2 big things that will help a lot. But only if I can end up affording them at the end of the day. So we'll go ahead and throw the intercooler on there. It's giving not a whole lot, but I'm going to get the intercooler, the air filter. I'm going to get the muffler. The exhaust system is definitely important. And I'm going to go ahead and get the exhaust manifold to get it all out of there as best as possible. Those right there were about 15 to 20 grand, and I took it up, shit, 45, 50 horsepower just from those last couple upgrades. And I have given it over 100 horsepower just since I started upgrading here. No NOS anything, it's all internals. It's going to be a beast. I started with like 224 or some shit. I do believe it was around, because yeah, my first step was like up to 236. So yeah, something like 224, and we have turned this thing into a powerhouse for what it is, and we really haven't even started like that. So next, of course, let's throw on the anti-lag system. Really get that grip out of the fucking gas pedal, you know what I mean? And of course, we'll get some suspension work going on, make it a little stiffer, a little bouncier when it needs to be, and get the good racing and clutch and flywheel to make sure everything's switching smoothly. And we're going to pair that up with a nice, fully customizable manual transmission rather than a sequential. Well, the racing one, just because I like to make 100% sure that I know what gear I'm in and how I tuned it. I don't want it to be tuned for me. Now with 4